One of the most common questions people ask, what is SIP? How do I start investing? Well, honestly, it's a very, very important and valid question. But before we start the discussion on this video, let me put a disclaimer. I am not a financial advisor. I'm just another person like you who looks at investing as a long-term strategy. I've seen the markets go up and I've also seen the markets go down. In between, I've managed to continue investing in terms of SIP or one-time investment, depending on the market scenario and depending on the capital I have. But one thing SIP teaches you very beautifully is how wealth is created step by step. बूंद बूंद से सागर बनता है. Before we move ahead, one important thing. If you want to be a successful and a profitable Airbnbpreneur, book a one-on-one consultancy call with our team. Link is below in the description. Now, let's continue the video. That is what our seniors taught us, and SIP is actually that in action. And that is very, very powerful. So first, very simply, let's understand what actually is SIP. SIP is simply put, systematic investment plan. Instead of investing a big amount in one time, which actually you cannot, you invest small chunks of money depending on how much money you can invest over daily, weekly or monthly basis. Maybe you can start with a 2,000 rupees per month, 4,000, 10,000, 20,000, 50,000, depending on your investment strategy, your savings, your income. Over time, this builds discipline, and because you invest regularly, you benefit from the concept called rupee cost averaging. That means when the market is low, even that time you are investing, and when the markets are high, even that time you are investing. So the idea is, over a period of time, you average your investment cost and you benefit from what is called rupee cost averaging. That is a disciplined approach followed by, novice or new investors, and even long-term mature investors follow this policy because this is no-brainer, and this has actually proven to be successful in majority number of times. Discipline and consistency, that is what SIP teaches us. But besides the technical understanding, SIP also teaches us a lot of other things. Consistency in investing, and more importantly, portfolio management. Thinking in terms of building a portfolio over a period of time. Most financial advisors will tell you the same thing. Don't depend on only one class of asset, right? You must have heard it by a lot of financial advisors, or probably your seniors, or probably your family members, your father, your grandfather. Don't put all your eggs in one basket, right? Instead, you build a portfolio, stocks, gold, silver, metals nowadays, and probably real estate, right? That is a major chunk where we Indians invest our hard-earned money, because we are looking at a status, we are looking at security, and we are looking at long-term appreciation. And also sometimes, if it is a ready-made house, somebody can rent that house and we can make a cash flow out of it. Now, exactly here, in the real estate asset class, something interesting is actually happening. What is that? Let's discuss in details. Many people actually buy property for investment, right? So you're looking at buying a property at a certain value and selling it after it appreciates over a period of time. Many people are also earning long-term rentals on it, which component comes to about 2 to 4% annually, right? That is a kind of return which you can earn from long-term rentals. But something interesting is actually happening right here. That cash flow from 2 to 4%, easily people are earning anywhere from 7 to 15% of cash flow from their property. Yes, the property is appreciating in value. That is one appreciation. That is wealth built over time, and also consistent cash flow which can actually recover your EMI cost, or if you've already paid your EMIs or loans, it can give you regular cash flow for your monthly expenditures. How is it? Short-term rental business, homestays business, or Airbnb business in simple terms. Instead of renting a property for say long-term, 1 year, 2 year long-term lease, people are now renting out their property for 1 day, 2 day, 3 days. And that is where real money, real cash flow, better ROIs are actually being experienced. People are listing their properties on Airbnb and other online travel agency sites, OTA sites. And nowadays people who want to stay are looking at experiential stays. They are booking such kind of properties, short term rentals on Airbnb, on OTAs, and in the bargain they are getting good experience, and the property owner is getting regular cash flow. And also one more idea, here is where interesting things are happening. Like, you say you live in Mumbai, for that sake. You went to a hill station, say Nainital, Masuri, or Shimla, and you bought a property for yourself, and you want to now enjoy that property. You furnish it well, you put a caretaker there, but that property is actually eating into your money. Every month you are having expenditures to maintain the property, to maintain the caretaker. Sometimes the rain is coming or whatever, and you are sending regular money every month after month from your income to Shimla, to Masuri, wherever. But smart people, they are renting these kind of properties now on Airbnb. These properties are actually making reverse cash flow for them. That means this property is actually working for them day and night to become an earning member of their family. It's self-sustaining. That is one thing. It is properly maintained because you have listed on Airbnb. So you ensure that it is beautifully maintained at all times. It is ready to welcome you whenever you need. All you need to do is block your dates whenever you want to visit Shimla or Masuri or wherever, and you enjoy the property with all the amenities of a proper setup homestay on an Airbnb. And with that, self-sustaining, even earning more than that, and that money is now reversely being transferred to your Bombay account. You are meeting a lot of monthly expenses from that money. So this is the beauty of short-term rentals, Airbnb business, or homestay, to put it that way. Now, if this excites you, let me subdue your excitement a bit. Well, yes, this is possible, and we have so many stories in the Homestay Academy. We are actually helping a lot of hosts across India make this kind of transition. Well, let me give you a story of our Hyderabad host. Now, he has an array of properties, 1 BHKs, 2 BHKs, 3 BHKs. He was doing long-term rentals on them, making good money, and that was sustaining his monthly budget. He is also working in a good IT firm. So that was passive income coming from his home, which was actually helping him meet the expenses. He came across our channel, watched us, and then he lent out one property, 1 BHK. He started making more money than 3 properties put together on long-term rentals. And slowly, from 1 unit to 3 unit. Another story of our Bangalore host. From single 1 bedroom studio, we started with 15,000 per month 1 year back, to now 75,000 done this month in March 2026. That's the kind of revenue which a single 1 room studio is generating in Bangalore. Well, stories are nice, and these are actually true stories. They are not made up stories, but at the same time, you have to understand a lot of commitment, a lot of passion, a lot of struggle, a lot of hard work has gone into making these success stories. When we talk about success stories, we forget the people who've actually not succeeded. There are so many hosts who've actually not succeeded, but there are so many who have. And who have succeeded? Again, the concept of SIP comes here. Discipline and consistency. So you need to understand that, well, yes, Airbnb is a business which everybody wants to do today, but it can only sustain if you have proper skills, proper knowledge, discipline, and consistency. All this is simply said, but difficult to actually put in actual practice. So when you have to be consistent, disciplined, you will face highs and lows. You have to understand the technicalities. You have to develop skill. You have to have knowledge. And with your business, with your service going around, how do you manage to get all this? So here is where you have help. We at the Homestay Academy are helping out people just like you who are already engaged in some business or service, and they have that passion to start their second business or passive income or something which they can slowly shift to and achieve their early retirement or the fire number or whatever you put that. And we at the Homestay Academy have actually more than 20 success stories like this, who are actually doing government jobs, who are doing IT jobs, who have their own business. They don't have much time. We've created systems for them, SOPs for them. We have created guidelines, and we are helping them out with listings of property, courses, mentorship, co-hosting services, and many such things like that. So success in Airbnb is possible. Airbnb, if understood in the right manner, like a portfolio, then wonders happen. But again, discipline has to be followed. Just like SIP taught you, you have to go through the ups and downs of the market and remain put. Be disciplined, be consistent. Similar is the strategy to be followed in life. If you remain standing, at a place, the chances of success are very high. But how do you remain standing? When you have support, when you have guidance, when you have knowledge and skills. And that is what makes this model interesting. It's not only about getting passive or real time income, it's also about being an entrepreneur. Now everybody wants to be an entrepreneur. So you can become an Airbnb-preneur. It elevates your status in the society between amongst your friends. And we heard this story from our Hyderabad host, when we were actually talking to them, they're discussing their success stories, their issues and problems. He told one thing which really stuck us right deep into the heart. He told us that, see, sir, I am earning a better money, but it's not only about money. My repo in my friends have actually increased. My wife respects me more for taking that decision to remove my property from long-term rentals and running it as a short-term rental, and of course with technical support from the Homestay Academy. That is something which is real, which is touching, which is human, and we crave for such kind of experiences, because at the Homestay Academy, the host, you, is at our very core. Now coming to the real job, if you require to set up a successful Airbnb, if you want to start, all you need to do is you need to have a property. It can be your own or an EMI property or even a rental arbitrage. That means you can rent it out from somebody and run it as an Airbnb. Of course, there are various norms to be followed. There has to be a proper licensing. The property has to be set up, furnished in the right direction. You have to have a caretaker, housekeeper who is well trained to understand the intricacies of Airbnb. Of course, a good photography, and finally a very good listing, because your listing is an asset on Airbnb platform. Once all of this is achieved, and then training on the part of you, the primary host, you need to be trained to understand the intricacies of this mini hospitality business. You list a good listing on Airbnb with a proper VEB. We can help you out at that at the Homestay Academy. So once that is done, your listing gets visible on Airbnb. People look at your listing. It is crisp. It is engaging. People book it. They come. You provide them good experience. You get good reviews. You earn super hosts, guest favorite batches, and slowly the wheel starts turning. And you've created a system which works for you day and night. Money starts flowing into your account. You build up credibility in your family, in your society, in your group of friends, and slowly you start growing your business from one unit to a number of units you can handle. So if you are somebody who's starting your investing journey in forms of SIP, this might be a great step. Yes, start investing in SIPs, in mutual fund stocks, but remember, wealth is created when we distribute the wealth in various asset class, and one of them is property. Real estate is a very nice asset, and sometimes business models start being built up around this real estate. And if you actually learn how hosting works in India, you can actually start your Airbnb-preneur's journey. And if you need any help in that, the Homestay Academy is actually there helping out more than 500 hosts across India now. We have consulted more than 1,000 hosts. We have helped set up 500 homestays across India, and presently as we speak, more than 100 active co-hosting is being done by the Homestay Academy across India. Looking to start your Airbnb preneur journey? Well, do not wait any longer. Start with the first free consultancy one-on-one video call on the Homestay Academy's platform. All you need to do is click on the link below, book your one-on-one video call with our experts, and that too free of cost. Thanks for watching. Do like, comment, and subscribe to our channel, The Homestay Academy, nurturing Airbnb preneurs.